houses. And so we have to continue to put programs and services together to build families and connect those dots. Does not matter what your income is, but what's going on inside of that family. And make sure that we put programs in place so people don't lose their home. The other thing I would ask NARAP to do, and this is not from a city standpoint, this will be from a state standpoint, is that we stop these predators from calling our families' phones and us and people that vulnerable in neighborhoods, offering them $100,000 and $200,000, and they think that's some money, and they go steal their home, and they'll never be able to have it. That's why I support land trust. Because we can build them and put them in these families' homes, but somebody can come and offer them a few dollars that they ain't never seen and never can have stay in the neighborhood again. So that is something that we need to do from NARAP standpoint, is legislate on how to stop these people from preying on homeowners in indigenous neighborhoods that might not be informed about what's going on. And with that said,
Give it up for Commissioner Regina Hill. Give it up. Round of applause. That was amazing. You know what that sounded like to me? Democracy in housing. That's what that sounded like to me. That's what democracy in housing looks like. When we have leaders who are willing to put boots on the ground, to really get into the communities and actually do the programs that are not just going to make sure that we see an increase in wealth, but also take care of our homeless. Make sure that when people invest in these communities, that they get $100,000 back, like you said. And make sure that when we actually have these programs that in these communities that we're building, that there aren't predators that are preying on the vulnerable. That is what democracy in housing looks like. And that, people, is why we're here. That is why we're here. So thank you so much, Ms. Regina Hill. Thank you so much. Give her another round of applause, please. Now, Ms. Regina Hill just told you about all of the work that she's done in the communities like Paramore and the city of Orlando, and all of the work that she's doing. And the beauty of it is that everything that she just outlined is perfectly aligned with what NARAP does. So right now, we're going to have our president tell you more about how that vision and our vision come together to move us forward. So without further ado, Madam President,
I had a lot to cover about NARAP and our 5 pillars, which is civic engagement, faith-based, work with small business, women in investing in real estate, and all this stuff. And yet she just delivered all actionable, real actions that deliver on all those pillars. And one of the beautiful things about NARAP, and specifically in Orlando, is a lot of us are actually friends in action. You don't see us hanging out. You don't see us on social media. You don't see a lot of us out there. But we are so connected so deeply. You don't understand. We are sitting in this room with royalty. There are leaders in this room that you have no idea what they've done and what they continue to do. They're just smiling, having their drinks, celebrating us. And yet I know there's so many of you that are here because of the work we've actually been doing without being noticed. And but before I move forward, there's one thing that I would like for us to briefly do is celebrating our national state leaders. I know some of them are still coming to airports and getting here, but we do have our national leadership here in the building, and I'd like to recognize them. We have Danny Felton, Floridian. When I met him, I swear I thought he was powerful, third VP NAREC National. And it takes a lot of years of work to get where Danny is. Danny has been a mentor to me from day one. From day one, before I even started on this journey, Danny and his team came in, they made the calls, they reached out to me and offered support. So Danny, thank you so much for everything. And we have all the national leaders. We have Marcus Brown, our regional vice president. We are Region 6, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And Marcus has been not only a great friend of mine, also one of my mentors in NAREC in truly understanding this position and what it means to be a leader. I know there was a lot of shenanigans for you to get here from the airport. We're just glad you're here, looking amazing as always.
You bell guys.
And then we have the rest of our national board of directors and chairs of committees nationally. We have Sarita Lola from Alabama. Dr. Tessa, my fierce sister, powerhouse, right there, out of Jacksonville. We also have all of you stand up, please, so that we can get the program moving. All those are all our national leaders. And the reason I want all members that are in here, I want all members, all our distinguished members of NAREC, whether you're from Orlando or all the other 5 chapters, tomorrow, these amazing leaders have dedicated the entire day for training, presentations. We have our first ever Florida State retreat happening in Orlando the holiday. Please register. Even if you don't have a ticket, just show up. We will have training for local boards, and then we'll have some information and trainings from national for members. So please make sure you show up tomorrow at the holiday. Board of Directors will be there at 7:30 a.m. sharp. Members come at 11 a.m. Thank you, leader. So we're going to play a video from one of a very, the goodness with women leaders is there's so many fierce of us. I can't even continue to list them, right? But there's so many fierce women present, and also our president, our national president, Madam Pope, is going to share a message that she sent out to us in Orlando. So Andre, you could play the message from Madam Pope.
For the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, I bring you greetings as the 32nd president. For say, congratulations to the Metro Orlando Association of Realtors for a wonderful 2021 year, great leaders, great pride, and peace to come. 2022 leaders that will be installed, want to say congratulations. I know that you're going to embrace such a great thing that this association is doing. From our 5 pillars of building Black homeownership to our upcoming Black Summit, to guess what? To our Tampa, Florida 75th anniversary. And to the 2022 officers and president of your association, I want to say congratulations. And also want to say hello to my friend,
Guys,
my vice president.
Benji c'est son même, Benji c'est ma même, c'est son même, c'est collègue moi nous travaillons ensemble dans real estate. So si on real pour real estate on peut faire de Benji on va le Benji ou bien on va aller business office c'est Benji qui est là qui back up. Thank you.
All right. So lastly, I'll just like to recognize my sister, the one that lifts me up every single day, my friend, the first ever head of diversity, equity, and inclusion for Keller Williams Real Estate International, Ms. Julia Lachey. Thank you for flying here for just one night. Thank you. I also would like to recognize my team, the ones that get to do all the work, so I can go play and do NAREC and everything. See, I don't spend a lot of time with brokerage because I have amazing leaders. and they know themselves, and my partners, my first, actually the first time I joined Keller Williams in 2016, my first team leader is here, who's now a colleague, Beth Woodall, and my entire team is here, my investors. I really appreciate that. I want to thank all the partners that are here. You know yourselves, you amazing, amazing humans, from mortgage, insurance, and I just don't hang out with average people. Like, I'm talking about owners of Brightway Insurance, and regional vice presidents of New American Funding, owners of title companies, owners of home warranty companies. I mean, you're sitting, your table right now, you don't know. You got royalty, you just don't know. And they won't share because they're home. So let me go back to this speech that I wrote. And some of you are thinking, oh my God, is she going to share a story about that? Yes, I will. But one thing I promise you, within the next 10 minutes, I will land the plane. That's the problem. We start getting Obama, Lupita Nyong'o, and me in this country. We cause good trouble. Alright, so when I was first installed as the president in 2021, if you were present, I delivered a very long speech regarding my heritage as a child born in rural Kenya, and my involvement in understanding not only what my position as a leader, a female leader, a minority, and immigrants in this country. And part of that was my understanding of the representation of my race and position in this great country. See, I was born in Africa, and before I came to the United States, I didn't know I was black. The first country I was told I was black, and I was like, see, in Africa, we're just either poor, sick, or you're just hustling to live and survive. Nobody really pays attention to the color thing.
Thank you.
So that was a surprise for me. Growing up in Kenya, my great-grandparents passed on land to my grandparents. That's what Miss Regina Hill was talking about. We didn't call it land trust. In Africa, there's just this thing that you don't touch anything the elders leave behind, or the curses will come out. So we didn't have any signed things, but they passed on that land to my parents, and my parents have now passed that land on to us. And in Kenya, the law is you pass it on to boys and girls alike. It's the law. I currently, in my home in Windermere, hold a copy of the land deed my family has owned for over 100 years. It's a copy. My father gave it to me to always never forget where I come from. The land was never sold until the late 1990s when, after my grandparents, my grandfather actually passed away, because he passed about 2,000 acres of land to all his children. So we grew up in rural Kenya, really poor. But my father owned 250 acres of land with no debt, no clean title. So the land was never sold until the late 90s when my father and his siblings then started leveraging the land to pay for college tuitions in Africa and also internationally. That land has been responsible for educating not only my younger siblings, I didn't get to enjoy that because they didn't use the land when I was growing up, but we currently have, within my immediate family, my mom's side of the family has
if you need your
33
loan to
children,
get
and my dad's side
approved,
has 13.
this is the guy.
Our family reunion is about 2,000
This is the
people,
loan
all
guy.
cousins. But we have 7 doctors in the United States. We have a resident surgeon in the UK. We have professors, researchers, business owners in the USA, Canada, Germany, England, Finland, Thailand, Turkey, South Africa, Dubai. These are just my immediate extended family. We have military leaders, even in the United States Air Force and Navy, that are actually my first cousins. What does this have to do with NAREM? And why the heck should anybody over here care? NAREM's mission is to build our community through homeownership. NAREM has a special charge to make sure that predominantly African American and largely other minority communities are treated fairly as land use and urban planning policies are developed. Homeownership in this context is just like the land passed on by my great-grandparents. Growing up, I had no use of it. I even resented it because it was in rural Kenya and we were really poor. But right now, I see evidence of generational wealth and opportunities that have been provided to my siblings, my cousins, my family through the education, work experience gained while being passed on to future generations and so on. My grandparents' land has facilitated the building of 7 elementary schools, 4 high schools, 5 churches, 7 libraries, and other developments. On my grandfather's land, we provide resources, education, and spiritual support to more than 14,000 children at any given time.
Like, that's a good way to put it. And to
Homeownership in the Black community,
by dropping content, you don't know which one.
when done right, will cause a generational wealth that will change the lives of generations to come. But as long as our Black communities faces the same barriers that we have faced for decades, this just becomes a dream. Our 2021 goal was to restore stability in our organization. The Metro Orlando Association of Realtors had been deeply disrupted by the unfortunate passing of our then president, Ms. Colleen
The superstar, so I can switch to LinkedIn.
Her sudden loss broke our spirit. Despite all the challenges we face as a new board, like navigating the new way of life brought by the pandemic. See, I was installed as president last year in the middle of COVID.
You doing tea?
We couldn't even meet as a board half the year in person.
I get the tea first, then I get drunk.
But we powered through. We forged our strong relationships via Zoom. We reignited the energy of our membership in Orlando and almost tripled our membership. We formed new partnerships and affiliations. You saw some of them today, Aura, Spectrum News, our local city of Orlando. We advocated for issues affecting fair housing and Black ownership in Central Florida. We supported the relaunch of our Women's Council of Orlando, NAREB. We hosted a powerful Realtors Week. For those of you that participated, we had our civic leaders, we had some of our senators, we had Aura participating, we had faith leaders, we had mortgage companies, and we challenged some of the major mortgage companies on their lending. On their lending.
Snap a picture for us.
I have to breathe through lending.
That's
I'm so glad Miguel is here with New American Funding, because I think Patricia, the founder of New American Funding, is the one leader that really gets it. We have issues in lending. There will be no housing apart from the great things that Regina and the team are doing.
Okay.
The lending part of it is actually systematic, legal, and real. Sugarcoat it. We can pretend it doesn't exist, but our people are systematically marginalized from homeownership. And that's just true. But we don't stay in that truth. We joined Aura and Florida Realtors in advocating for us several milestone legislation. For those of you, especially in Keller Williams, we were signing petitions. Our goal was to get like 100,000 petitions. Through NAREB, through our mixers, we're signing petitions to make sure that housing money was kept in house. It's so sad when you realize that a little bit over 50% of all the housing money collected is kept in house. Everything else is redirected. Other projects in the state of Florida have nothing to do with housing, while we struggle with homelessness and our people continue to suffer.
What do you get in return?
We also are fighting a battle in rising property insurance costs and many more affordable housing issues. We also joined our local NAACP office to celebrate our veterans. And in 2022, my personal goal is to continue growing leaders.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
If I look at all of you, the board, the members, everybody that's here, my brother, I can retire from NAREB and say, I did my job.
nan li papa. David men pou
The charge for our new members, our continued growing membership, the charge for the new board is rebuilding and retaining. We will rebuild by growing stronger membership presence, engage with our community partners. I think we formally have adopted our community partners, District 5. We will continue building on our existing and new strategic partnerships to advance our mission in all avenues, working with our realtor boards, Aura, Oscar, to bring more education and awareness to home ownership gaps in our community, and we'll continue advocating locally and also in Tallahassee. We will retain our legacy. And the first thing we're going to do to retain our legacy is we are all going to ride down to Tampa in August to celebrate the 75th anniversary of NAREM.
Del Black.
Join us as we celebrate this big milestone. NAREM was started in Tampa by 13 fierce individuals who clearly understood that the National Association of Realtors, NARE, did not allow black people to practice real estate, in any types of real estate. So they formed NAREM in protest. That's why you're all here. I welcome you to join us in celebrating this great milestone. Join us in bringing effective change in our community. Don't stand on the sideline, lean in. As my hero, Mandela, Nelson Mandela said, sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. Let your greatness blossom. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life that we lead. Thank you so much for being here.
So impressed with our leaders. Give another round of applause for all of us. Wow. Now, Ogla's title is our president. But by a show of hands, can every member of NARAB in the building, please raise your hand, every member? Okay, yeah, give them a round, and give everyone a round of applause. Here in Orlando, we've increased our membership by almost 300% in just 2021 alone. Y'all can give that a round of applause. 300% is a big deal. That's a big deal. But the way that we did that was because it didn't matter what the title was. We all knew what the mission was. And because of that, no matter if your title was president or parliamentarian, we stepped up and we got the job done. We increased the membership, we increased our impact, and we're going to increase the influence that we have on the city of Orlando and beyond, not because of our title, but because of the mission of this great organization. And nobody represents that any better than who was our prior parliamentarian, Rondra Bolden. Let me tell you about Rondra. She came in with, she came in with the whip, right? Now, she wasn't my superior, she wasn't my boss, but you couldn't tell me that. Because when Rondra came around, what she said went. Because she believed in what she was doing. She saw the impact that we are having on our community, and she rose to the occasion. So much so that the rest of the board and the rest of the membership recognized the work that she was doing, and because she acted like a leader when she didn't have the title, we honored her with the title of our first VP. And what that says for the rest of you guys who are now members, what we're asking is, just like we were bold enough and brave enough to say, you know what? We never did a gala or a gala whatever you want to call it before. But we got together and we made it happen. So when we see the work that needs to be done outside in that landscape right there, outside on that beautiful horizon in the city of Orlando, you get to roll up your sleeves and get to work, and we'll follow you. And we followed Rondra. And she is the person that actually sowed the seed to make this whole event happen tonight. So it's only fitting that she's the one that's able to help us close out this evening. With a thank you to you guys. Without further ado, Rondra Bolden.
Thank you, Brad, for that awesome introduction. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody feeling? Awesome. You feeling empowered?
Yes.
Proud? Happy to be in this room of excellence. I will tell you, as Chad mentioned, we didn't start like this. So for me, being able to just stand here, be in the room with everybody, my heart is full. I'm so happy. Before we close out, we really just wanted to give everyone here a heartfelt thank you for all of your support. So when I was a kid, I grew up in a tight-knit community, and we always had a phrase that said, it takes a village. And so for anybody who's ever heard that, it just knows that it takes more than one person to build something, to grow something, to create a foundation for something. And we just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of our village. We know that without your support, we wouldn't be here. So to our oncoming board for 2022, I'm going to thank you in advance for the blood, sweat, and tears and your time that we know that you all are going to be poured into this organization. To all of our state and national leaders, we want to thank you for all of your continued support. We know that without you, we would not be able to be in this room today. We also thank you in advance for what you all are going to help us do this coming year. So we thank you. To all of our sponsors for 2022, again, we are so proud and so happy to have you all as a part of our village. We need your support, and we thank you for that support. To all of our table sponsors tonight, we thank you for being here and for believing in this organization, and also bringing along people that you know will benefit from knowing and hearing about Narrow in our mission. To our award winners tonight, we want to thank you because you are the heartbeat of our community. You are the reason that we are here in this organization. And we just want to say thank you for being here. So as we get ready to close tonight, again, thank everyone that has come out. I will also leave with just a word. I'm going off of my African sister. A word is Ubuntu. Ubuntu. So that means that I am here because you are. And so NARA, our organization here, Metro Orlando Association of Realtors, we are here because you're here. Thank you.
Very nice hand, leader. Very nice. I really don't think that I really need much introduction. I'm the last person on the program, so I doubt seriously if y'all need to get up and say that. Terrence is my first name, Gray is my last name. I serve the senior pastor of St. Mark AME Church here in Orlando. I'm Michelle's pastor, Regina's pastor, a whole lot of other folk pastors, so I'm just glad to be the pastor. And if you didn't know it, since y'all don't put every plug for everything else, I am running for Congress, and I do need the interest in your prayers. With all that being said, Michelle, you owe me lunch or dinner soon, let the Lord's name. Only because of the fact that I came here after having a meeting, dinner meeting,
James,
and so I was not able to enjoy the cuisine that was presented.
Don't get it.
No, oh, you owe me one, girl. Yes, you do, sugar pie. We've been in debt for a while, had the Lord's name to be praised. But congratulations to you and to everybody. And so my job is to give a closing prayer. I think ultimately the benediction for the work that you do. Because no matter what we plan, if it's not divinely kissed, it becomes in vain. God, we turn to you because there really is no other help we know. How amazing it is. This nation is in such disarray about just doing unto others. You have them do unto us. We're in disarray over a mask. Disarray over a vaccine.